the moment you realize you're no longer young. One day, you wake up, look in the mirror, and see that the spark in your eyes from years past is gone. It's not because you didn't sleep. It's because it's been too long since you last saw life with clarity. The partner lying next to you no longer feels like the home you once ran to. The kids who used to call out "Dad, Mom" are now caught up in their own worlds. A quiet loneliness creeps in, light as a feather yet heavy as a stone pressing on your chest. That's when the midlife crisis sneaks in. Not loud, but enough to shake your soul. Have you ever felt yourself changing, but no one else seems to notice? You start comparing. Used to be so good at this. How are people younger, faster, better than me now? Then the fear sets in. Fear of being replaced. Fear of being left behind. Fear that the years ahead are just about existing, not truly living. My friend, I get that feeling. When time doesn't just steal your youth, but also your confidence in yourself. The deepest pain isn't the wrinkles, it's the doubt. Am I still worth something? Is there anything left for me in this life? Have you ever asked yourself that? Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Don't waste time complaining about the world. Work on being better while you still can." Epictetus reminded us, "It's not what happens that makes us suffer, but how we think about it." And Seneca emphasized, "Life isn't short, we just waste too much of it on things that don't matter." I've been angry, feeling overlooked. I've cried silently, watching my kids no longer need my advice. But one night, sitting alone, I reread Marcus's words, "Everything is fleeting, both praise and blame, only living with integrity lasts forever." And it hit me. Your worth isn't about how long people remember you. It's about how you lived while you had the chance. Are you hurting? Yes, the midlife crisis is real, but you're not alone. You have Stoic philosophy, like a lamp lighting. Up the dark night you have the ancients, people who struggled, who hurt, and who overcame. We're here to remind each other how strong we used to be. And then we'll be strong again, in the way only someone seasoned by life can be. No one can turn back time, but we can turn our minds around. Stoicism won't make you young again, but it can bring you peace, calm, and help you move through those nameless pains. If you see yourself in this video, don't leave. The next 9 parts are a journey to rediscover the peace you deserve. Please follow the Stoic Glimmer channel. Hit like and share your thoughts in the comments below so you don't miss a single step on the path back to yourself. Why do we feel empty even when everything seems fine? Have you ever looked around? The house is still intact. The job is steady. Loved ones are still by your side. But inside, there's a bottomless void. A void that money can't fill. That other, people's laughter can't fix, and words of encouragement just pass through your ears like a cold breeze. My friend, have you ever sat like that in a familiar room, yet felt as lost as a passerby? What exhausts us isn't the burdens on the outside. It's that no one sees the inner turmoil. Have you ever asked yourself, who am I living for? Is this the life I chose, or am I just drifting through the roles I had to take? That's not weakness. That's a signal. It's time to come back to yourself. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you feel lost in the crowd, know this, your mind is the safest refuge." Seneca declared, "No one is poor if they know what's enough. No one is lonely if they can be their own friend." Epictetus reminded us, "The only thing you can truly control is how you react to the world." I used to think I'd done enough. I took care of my parents, my kids, my family, but somehow, I felt out of breath when I faced myself. That's when I realized I'd been living for so many people. I forgot to live for me. Then I came across a line from Marcus. "Return to your mind, for that's where everything you're searching for lies." Tears fell, not from sadness, but because I found myself again in those 2,000-year-old words. If you've ever felt empty, lost, know that you're not wrong. You're just standing at a crossroads in life where you need a new direction. Stoicism doesn't teach you to run away. It shows you how to look at yourself and step through the darkness. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you've been walking so long you forgot who you are, but with just one step coming back, everything can start anew. Midlife isn't the end. It's the moment you get to live most authentically as yourself. No more chasing validation, no more carrying burdens that aren't yours. Just you, with a peace forged from within. If this video made you pause for a moment, stick around. Let's keep going together. Part 3 will be the moment you learn to love yourself again, through ancient, profound, yet timeless philosophy. True happiness. Have we been trading it away for too long? Do you remember the last time you felt truly happy? Not when you bought something new, not when someone praised you for being great, but that small moment, when you didn't have to try to be anyone. Maybe it was a quiet afternoon, sipping tea alone, or watching your child sleep, with nothing on your mind but the sound of their steady breathing. Those simple moments, so profound they made your heart stir gently. And yet over the years, how many of those moments have we traded away for busyness, for the must-dos, for roles we never even chose? At this age, we no longer crave fleeting glory. We just want one thing: to live meaningfully with a light heart. But the irony is we're the ones bearing those small joys, thinking they're not worth it. We used to believe happiness comes with conditions. You need enough money. You need others' approval. You need to fulfill your duties, and so we traded away, until one day we became the last thing we truly understood: ourselves. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Your happiness depends on the quality of the thoughts you nurture, not on external circumstances." Seneca emphasized, "We worry so much about the future that we forget to live fully in the present." Epictetus gently pointed out, "If you want peace, don't focus your mind on things you can't control." I used to work nonstop, thinking taking care of my family was love, but the more I gave, the more drained I became. I stopped having long talks with my kids like I used to. I didn't dare rest, because I felt guilty. One day, I came across this line in Seneca's letters from a Stoic: "Those who don't know how to stop are the ones tormenting their own minds." I froze. It hit me. Even love needs wisdom. Giving until you're empty isn't always good. You have to save a piece for yourself to live well. So, how will you choose to live from now on? Keep running, hoping for a free day that might never come, or learn to pause and live in the moment you have right now. Stoicism doesn't teach you to turn your back on life. On the contrary, it teaches you to choose what's truly valuable and let go of what's unnecessary, even if others don't get it. You don't need to please the whole world. If you wake up each morning with a calm heart, that's already a victory. Happiness doesn't come from far-off places. It's in the way you think, in the small actions you choose today. And only when you understand that can you move forward with the rest of your life. No regrets, no blame. If this part made you pause, ask yourself, today, who did I live for? And today, how did I treat myself? Hold on to that question as we head into part 4, where you'll learn to befriend yourself instead of always running from loneliness. Part 4. Befriending yourself. The journey back within. Have you ever felt lonely, even when you're surrounded by people? Not because you lack friends, not because your family abandoned you, but because it's been so long since you last understood what you truly need. You're tired, but you don't know why. You're angry, but no one's to blame. You want to let go, but you're not even sure what to let go of. My friend, maybe you've been living too long forgetting yourself. We grow up learning to care for others, but we forget to learn how to listen to ourselves. At some point, you look back and realize you've spent your whole youth chasing some ideal without ever asking, What do I really want? That's when the midlife crisis knocks on your door. It doesn't come because you're weak. It comes to bring you back. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You're not lonely because you lack company, but because you can't befriend yourself." Seneca advised, "Set aside a part of your day just to have a conversation with your own soul." And Epictetus taught, "If you want freedom, start by mastering your inner world." I used to be afraid of silence. I'd turn on the TV while eating, play music while working, scroll through my phone even when I had free time. Not because I needed entertainment, but because I was scared the quiet would expose the emptiness inside me. Then one day I tried turning everything off. I sat alone just to breathe, just 10 minutes. But at first I felt uneasy. I wanted to run from myself. But the longer I sat still, the clearer it became. I wasn't lonely because I lacked others. I was lonely because I'd forgotten to talk to my own heart for too long. And maybe you have too. You've taken care of the whole world. But how long has it been since you asked yourself, "Am I okay today?" The Stoic journey doesn't start on high mountains or vast oceans. It begins in a quiet little corner where you're brave enough to face yourself. It starts with sitting down without judgment, with listening to your pain instead of burying it, and with the courage to say, even if the whole world turns its back on me, I'm still here with myself. You don't deserve to be forgotten, especially by yourself. Stoic philosophy isn't about making you cold. It's about making you clear-headed, strong enough to face the darkness within and realize true peace isn't out there, it's inside you. Are you ready to spend a day just with yourself? No TV, no phone, no work, just you, a blank sheet of paper, a cup of tea. Give it a try, because when you learn to befriend yourself, you'll never feel lonely, even in a chaotic world. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it to spread Stoic glimmer to more people. The world changes, but your mind can stay calm. Today, you wake up and realize you're not as quick as you used to be. Your eyes are a little blurry, your back aches after sitting too long, the sound of your kids calling dad or mom. It's getting quieter. You look out at the world and see life speeding up without warning. Social media, new trends, technology, younger, more energetic coworkers. Suddenly, you feel left behind. My friend, if your heart feels heavy looking around, you're not alone. So many people are hiding their anxiety behind a grown-up smile. Midlife isn't just about your body aging. It's about your mind struggling to find its place in this new world. You used to be the best in your department. You used to be the first one people asked for advice. You used to be the one your family couldn't live without. But now you're slowly being replaced, slowly forgotten, slowly becoming the one left out of the conversation. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything changes, except your mind, if you choose to train it." Epictetus emphasized, "We're not disturbed by what happens, but by how we view it." Seneca advised, "No one can take away your inner peace unless you hand it over to them." I used to panic when I felt out of touch. I worried that my age would make people stop listening to me. I rushed to catch up with new things, but I still felt lost. Then one day, I read a line from Marcus Aurelius. "No matter how chaotic the world gets, you have the right to keep your mind calm." I sat down. I didn't learn to keep up. I learned to understand myself. And from that I discovered, strength doesn't come from how fast you run, but from how calm you can stay when everything changes. You don't need to become young to survive in this new era. You need to become the most awake version of yourself, someone who understands. Life is impermanent. Trends fade, but the steadiness inside you is something no one can take away. Start seeing every change like clouds passing. By they come, they go, but the sky within you remains. The world can change, but you don't have to rush to keep up with it. You just need to learn to stand still without fear. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach you to resist every change. It teaches you to accept it, with a calm and clear mindset. Because everyone gets older, Everyone will be replaced, but not everyone learns to step off the stage with a smile. Tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself one question. If tomorrow I no longer have my old role, can I still live with peace? If the answer is no, start. Today, learn to be at peace within yourself no matter how the world out there changes. When people change their hearts, how do you keep your own steady? Some days, you wake up in a house you know so well, but you feel like a stranger. The person who once swore to be by your side forever now seems to barely care. Dinners turn silent. Messages are just reminders for tasks. Your eyes meet, but the warmth you used to see is gone. You start to wonder, what did I do wrong? Do I even matter to them anymore? Is there any pain worse than knowing the person who once loved you now turns away without looking back? Midlife isn't just a crisis of an aging body. It's also realizing that the relationships you thought were solid aren't what you believed them to be. You spent your youth building, compromising, sacrificing, only to be met with coldness and indifference in return. You used to think that if you were good, if you gave your all, they'd never change. But you forgot something Stoic philosophy always emphasizes. You can't control someone else's heart. The only thing you can control is yourself. Epictetus once said, "When you tie your happiness to someone else, you're handing them the key to your freedom." Seneca taught, "Feelings can't bind anyone. Only those who choose to stay are truly yours." And Marcus Aurelius would remind himself each morning, "Today I'll meet people who betray, who are cold, who are ungrateful, but I won't blame them. That's just their nature." I fell apart when I realized the person I loved didn't love me anymore. I clung on, tried to hold them back, even forgot my own self-respect. Until one night, I read Epictetus's words. "They may take their love with them when they leave, but they can't take your peace unless you let them." I sat in silence, and for the first time, I knew I needed to love myself before expecting someone else to love me fully. A path forward. You can't stop someone from changing, but you can become someone who doesn't break, even when they leave you. Stoicism doesn't ask you to bury your emotions. It teaches you not to let those emotions become chains that bind your reason. Remember this: someone who loves you won't keep hurting you over and over. The one who leaves doesn't take your worth. They only take the expectations you misplaced in them. People may change their hearts, but you can't afford to lose your own. Stoicism doesn't teach you to become numb. It teaches you to shed tears at the right time and to stand back up in the right place. Don't resent those who turn away. Maybe it's a chance for you to turn back to yourself. From that pain, you'll learn the greatest lesson of midlife. The most beautiful love isn't the one that's returned, but the love you give yourself when no one else is there. 1. Last action tonight. When memories come crashing in like waves, don't text them. Don't try to ask, "Why did you change?" Instead, place your hand on your chest. Ask yourself one question. If they're no longer by my side, can I still be kind to myself? If the answer is no, start today. Learn to live alone, but not lonely. Alone in a crowd, am I slowly fading away? Have you ever sat at a lively party surrounded by people but felt an odd emptiness inside? Everyone's still laughing, still talking, the clinking of glasses, the thumping music. But you feel like a shadow. No one sees you, no one truly hears you. Am I no longer worth anything? Am I slowly becoming invisible? Midlife isn't always a dramatic tragedy. Sometimes, it's the slow fading of the light within us. One day you realize your kids have their own world now. Your spouse feels more like a roommate. Friends are too busy, no longer calling out of the blue like they used to. You're still alive, but it feels like You're just drifting through. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Don't hope to be remembered in others' memories. Your job is to live fully, not to let being forgotten make you feel small." Epictetus emphasized, "No one is truly alone if they can talk to themselves." I used to fear silence. I'd turn the TV on loud every night to fill the empty room. I'd drag out conversations just to hear another voice. But one late night, I turned off all the lights, didn't play anything, and I sat with myself. That's when I understood. The scariest loneliness isn't being without others. It's when even you don't want to listen to yourself anymore. Stoicism doesn't promise to end your loneliness, but it teaches you how not to crumble because of it. Remember, you're not invisible. You're just waiting to be seen by yourself. You're not worthless. You just haven't given that worth to yourself yet. You don't need applause from the crowd. You just need a gentle pat from your own heart. Seneca once said, "A free spirit is someone who isn't afraid to live slowly, quietly alone. Instead of waiting for someone to fill the void inside you, let knowledge, kindness, and courage become your companions." Because midlife isn't the end. It's the pause where you can write the most beautiful chapter of your life. Tonight, do something you've been neglecting. Read a book, write a few lines of your thoughts, or just sit quietly and listen to your own breathing. Don't wait for others to hear you. Start by listening to yourself. Who am I when no one needs me anymore? Some mornings you wake up, look around the familiar room, and ask yourself in silence, who am I living for now? No more important meetings, no more kids needing you to take them to school. You suddenly realize you used to be the center of your work, your family, a vibrant youth. But now you're like a side character slowly being written out of life's script. When you were younger, you tied yourself to labels. The boss, the breadwinner, the mom, the dad, the problem solver. But at some point, those labels start falling away like leaves in late autumn. You're no longer the important person in work emails. Your kids don't ask for your advice anymore. Even your partner. Sometimes they're too caught up in their own world. You're still alive, but it feels like you're being left behind. Is my worth only real when someone else needs me? Epictetus once said something profound. If others can't see your value, let that be your chance to rediscover your own worth. And Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You are enough on your own. Don't wait for others to validate your existence." There was a time I lived for the expectations others placed on me. I felt useful when someone needed me, asked me, depended on me. But one day, when everyone had grown up, when they started walking their own paths, I suddenly felt lost. I got angry when I felt forgotten. I felt hurt when no one needed my advice anymore. But then, one rainy evening, I sat down, and I realized your true worth isn't about being needed. It's about being able to stand strong, even when no one's looking your way. Stoicism doesn't comfort you with empty words. It reminds you, labels are just outer garments. Your real value lies in your character, in how you face loneliness, insignificance, and still live with strength. Try living one day without needing anyone's approval. As long as you do what's right, that's enough. Seneca once wrote, "The strong don't need applause. They live with integrity, knowing that virtue is its own reward." Stoicism teaches us to live like a rock in the ocean, unshaken by the waves, unworn by the indifferent glances of the world. Tonight, write down things you've done that no one knows about, good qualities you have, that don't need anyone else's recognition. That's your strength. That's you. No need to play a role. Just being yourself. That's enough. When old age knocks, I'm afraid of becoming a burden. There's a fear no one speaks aloud, but it haunts you every time the wind turns cold, every time your body aches for no reason. Have you ever whispered to yourself, what if one day I'm bedridden, if my memory starts to fade? Will my kids have enough patience? Will I become a burden to the ones I love? Old age doesn't arrive with a bang. It comes quietly, like the wrinkles around your eyes, like the creaking of your knees each morning. And then you notice. You forget the name of an old friend. You stand up slower after sitting. You need help with things that used to take just 5 minutes. The pain isn't from illness. It's from the feeling of being left behind. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who often thought of death, once wrote, "Treat each day as if it were your last gift. When old age comes, don't fight it. Live with it, with virtue." Epictetus also reminded us, when your body no longer obeys your will, let your will become stronger than ever. An old friend once told me, "Youth is about muscles, old age is about strength of character." He wasn't quick anymore, but every word he spoke carried the weight of a lifetime of reflection. Young people visited him not out of pity, but because they found in him a kind of peace their generation had never known. I realized, old age isn't the end. It's when your soul shines the brightest. Stoicism teaches us, prepare for everything, even aging, loneliness, or passing away. How? By practicing calm every day, by letting go of what you can't control, by giving even when your strength isn't what it used to be. You're not a burden if you keep the light of your spirit alive. And sometimes, your quiet presence is what helps your loved ones feel at home. Seneca once wrote, "Don't wait until you're weak to learn how to be strong. Be strong so that when you're weak, you're still yourself." Tonight, before you go to bed, ask yourself, if one day I'm no longer sharp, have I lived deeply? Enough to leave something behind for those I love? A lesson, a smile, a way of living. That brings peace to others when they think of me. Live like it's your last and live forever. There's a question that seems simple. If tomorrow were your last day alive, what would you do today? Most of us answer it lightly, for fun. But those who've faced death, they don't laugh at that question. They answer with tears, with regret, with the things they wish they'd done. Have you ever gone quiet looking at an old photo and thought, why didn't I cherish that moment more? Why do we wait until it's gone to realize what we had was so precious? Life is short, but the problem is, we live like it'll last forever. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave this life at any moment. Let every action, every thought, be worthy of being your last." Seneca emphasized, "Death doesn't wait for old age, it can come any time, so the wisest thing is to live each day as if it's time to go." I once interviewed a man dying of late-stage cancer. He only asked me one thing. Tell people out there, don't live carelessly like I did. He said he didn't regret what he'd done, but what he didn't dare to say, didn't dare to do, didn't dare to forgive. Those who follow Stoic philosophy don't fear death, not because they're numb, but because they're prepared. Every morning, they think of death to remember how precious today is. Every action they give their all, so they won't have regrets. Every relationship they know to let go, if it can't make both people better. You can't control how much time you have left, but you can pour your whole soul into every hour you live, Epictetus once stressed. You don't get to choose how you're born, but you can choose how you live and how you leave. And if you live beautifully enough, even death can't take you away from those who love you. Tonight, instead of scrolling online for meaningless things, do this. Write a letter thanking someone who quietly helped you. Call your parents, if they're still here. Look at your child, and say the things you think you'll have plenty of time to say later, because no one knows if they'll still be here tomorrow morning. You've made it through this 10-part journey, 40,000 words long. But remember, what matters isn't that you've heard it all, but how you'll live starting tomorrow. And if one day you feel lost amid things you can't control, remember Marcus Aurelius's words. If you feel pain, that's your body. If you feel chaos, that's your mind. But you are not your body, not your mind. You are your will. and your will can stay calm through any storm. Dear friend, if you've come this far, I know you're not just a listener, but a seeker. Seeking peace in a world too noisy. Seeking yourself amidst years of feeling lost. Seeking something to hold on to when everything seems to be slipping away. And if what you just heard made your heart pause for a beat, made you want to live differently, even just a little, let me know you're still here. Leave a like if you see yourself in these words. Share this video with someone quietly struggling. And if you want to walk this path longer, with a channel that speaks of pain, with understanding of philosophy, with gratitude, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell. Because in the next video, we'll dive deeper into the silent pains adults dare not speak of, and how Stoic philosophy helps you move forward, not with strength, but with letting go. You are not alone, and this journey has only just begun.